Imagine all the people on their phones in this day and age. People are becoming more and more engrossed in their own digital worlds. Cell phone use is becoming increasingly widespread, and addiction to it is rising steadily. Many may consider this overdramatic, but it is a real problem with immensely negative consequences. In recent times, the cell phone has become necessary. The world is becoming more digital and technology is advancing quickly. However, at what point does the constant usage become harmful? When do our phones become habits? We asked students at Saratoga High how many hours a day they think they spend on their phone.
I probably go on my phone at least 2 or 3 hours a day.
Probably like 3 hours a day.
Next, we asked them how many hours they thought was too much, or when one gets addicted.
At least 2 to 3 hours a day.
3 hours a day is a lot. I'll say that for sure. I broke my phone yesterday, so I haven't had a phone for like 2 days. I feel pretty lost without it. I really want that. I really want a phone back.
What he said about feeling pretty lost without a phone for 2 days may actually be an indication of a larger issue: addiction. Addiction occurs when a user cannot stop doing a particular activity despite its negative effects on them. A study from Lookout, a cybersecurity company, found that 68% of people ages 18 to 34 say they don't go an hour without checking their phones. We spoke to Anu Singh, a clinical psychologist, about some hallmarks and behaviors of addicts, particularly how normal cell phone usage can be distinguished from addiction.
Anytime that usage of cell phone or technology leads to an anxiety, a building up of tension, when the usage is, either short-circuited or not permitted or, kind of put away for a while, is certainly, I would say, a condition now that's leading to what is called a compulsion. That means they just can't stop doing it. And they keep doing it, much to the detriment of their personal life. Their usage time now goes up. Their obsession with the use of gadgetry goes up. Their thinking about their gadgets when they're not with their gadgets goes up, pretty much takes on the same role. They're pretty much not in control. It controls them.
When one is no longer in control of their compulsion, it is classified as an addiction. So where does this all start? Singh said that people begin addictive behaviors as a response to something stressful. But people do not use cell phones initially because they're stressed.
Initially, when it begins, for most of us, we are not responding to any specific stressor or any specific cue, but we later develop it, so it's more of a socially learned behavior.
A common reaction to the widespread cell phone usage today is that it signifies a more connected world. They allow us to talk to people and organizations around the world, opening up opportunities that have never been around before. The assumption is that since cell phone use is a socially learned behavior, it means we're being more social with it. Saratoga High teacher Mr. Rick Ellis, when asked whether he thought his students used their phones too much in class, commented on this.
Yes, I do. I think that they are fixated on communicating in the cyber world. Like, they need to always know what's going on, or they feel that they're left out or something.
Students have an apparent need to be connected digitally, which Singh revealed to be negative.
What's very sad about it, though, is we think of a cell phone, most of us, as a ways of communicating, and that it's a social way of connecting. In the long run, an excessive use of it actually finishes off all connection. It actually diminishes our connections. It takes over, and we actually don't even see, hear, or relate to the person on the other end that we're connecting with.
What this means is that when we communicate digitally, lots of social cues are missed out on, like body language and tone of voice. Another example is that someone may not be relating to anyone when they are physically with them, because they're too engrossed in trying to connect with someone who's not even there. You may see this happen a lot, or even be guilty of it at events that are supposed to be social. What this means is that rather than being connected, we are isolated. What can we do about it? This problem is deep-rooted and hard to pinpoint. However, there are steps we can take to reduce cell phone addiction. Make sure you're not too dependent on your phone. Set a period of tech-free time each day, an hour. You definitely can use those 2 to 3 or more hours you'd normally be on your phone to pursue hobbies you enjoy or genuinely connect with friends and family. It is as important to stay connected with people and your life offline as it is online, so take that extra time to live your life cell phone free.